to the president, Fox News contributor Sebastian Gorka, and Fox News correspondent at large, apparently co-host of The Five now, Geraldo Rivera. I've been watching you all week. This is huge news. They're now looking into the Clinton Foundation, and it's now confirmed. They now are clearly also now looking into the email server scandal, which we now know Comey basically rigged with Peter Strzok because they wrote an exoneration months before the investigation.
I think in terms of the email scandal, there is no doubt but that the fix was in. It is also an archaic scandal, and if we go back there again, the eyes of the public will roll into the back of their head and say, oh no, what's next, Benghazi?
Geraldo, wait a minute. Were laws broken in your view as an attorney?
They very well may have been.
Felonies.
They may have been, but I don't know what crime it would be. You need intent to violate those secrecy acts.
So if you set up a private server in a mom and pop shop bathroom closet, wait a minute. You put secret, top secret, classified special access program. Whoa, and then you destroy it, delete it, bleach fit it, acid wash it.
The reason the other aspect of this, the pay-for-play Clinton Foundation aspect of this is much more intriguing is that it is new. We haven't treaded and hours and hours. Well, you more than most. Oh. But I want to know how the Clintons became so wealthy when they never had a real job. I think that those are good questions. But if you conflate this with that email thing again,
why would we ever give up 20% of America's uranium? Robert Mueller knew the FBI had a spy inside of Putin's ring, bribery, extortion, money laundering, kickback, Sebastian. Sure. And then they still allowed CFIUS to sign off 9-0 across the board, and the money went right back to the Clinton Foundation, $150 million. Huge amounts.
We've been waiting more than a year to find out if America is still a nation of the rule of law. And now Hillary's going to find out the answer to her own question. What difference does it make? And Geraldo, I didn't know you studied law, but I'll have to tell you something. As a former federal employee, intent is utterly irrelevant when it comes to the handling of classified materials in federal law. You do not need to be giving that information to a foreign agent. If you simply misplace it, you have committed a felony. It's one of the few aspects of federal law where intent is irrelevant. And that woman had at least 108 emails at the highest classification of the federal system on her private server. That's a felony, Geraldo.
This is the way I totally disagree with the legal analysis, but let me make a much more important point.
It's a fact, Geraldo.
I have to make a much more important point. I care about the 45th president of the United States. I care about Donald Trump. I want his presidency to be a success. I fear that he is not touting his strengths, as Sean alluded in the opening of this program. We have an economy now that is robust, that is booming, that is including everybody from the wealthy to the person, the urban person.
So Hillary gets a pass.
I want to tout that success.
Black unemployment, 7-year low.
I want to tout that success. I want to scream that from the rooftops. That positive message is what the American people are yearning to hear, not Hillary Clinton emails.
What about equal justice?
What do I care about Hillary Clinton?
Equal justice under the law? Sebastian.
What is the statue of Lady Justice blindfolded for a reason, Geraldo? All Americans should be equal before the law, whether your last name is Rivera or whether your last name is Clinton. This woman has committed felonies. It goes without saying. The fact that more than 50%...
It does not go without saying. You cannot make a statement like that because you're a smart man. You cannot make a statement like that.
The director of the FBI said she had 108 classified emails on her private server. That's a felony, Geraldo.
And then in the last 2-3 years, why hasn't there been any meaningful...
That's the question.
That's
the question.
Hold on a second. Wait, hang on a second.
Donald Trump to be dragged back into that crap again?
It's not Donald Trump. He has no say in this. Why? And I ask you this. Why would Comey and Strzok, a Trump hater, be writing an exoneration months before they ever even interviewed the main people involved.
With dozens of hostile eyes on Hillary Clinton's private email server, there has not been one scintilla of proof that any leak happened to a hostile party.
Wait a minute. Our own Brett Baer, 99% certainty, 5 foreign agencies had access to that. Next question. So you're telling me it's not obstruction of justice. If I have subpoenaed emails, 33,000 I delete. Hang on. Then I acid wash and bleach bit the hard drive. And then just to make sure, I take the BlackBerries and I smash them with a hammer. You're not telling me that's not intentional obstruction of justice?
I am telling you that even as you recited that with your eloquence, my eyes rolled wide. Because I don't care about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's not going to run for office again.
You care about equal justice.
I care about the president succeeding and uniting the country and moving forward together. We have big issues.
All right, Dr. Gorka.
Every American, Geraldo included, should care if federal law enforcement officers are breaking the law. When Hillary Clinton was interviewed, her co-suspect was allowed to act as her counsel, and the FBI, not Hillary, the FBI destroyed the laptops that were central to that investigation. Geraldo, you should care about that, because that means we've got bent
I care about
cops.
the future, not the past. Dr. Gorka,
What if a crime was committed against your daughter 10 years ago? Would you care about that person?
If you show me one victim from that whole email baloney,
America's national security.
America.
Foreign agents picked up on it, Geraldo.
Like what?
Intelligence.
Like a CIA document that says that? I don't.
Oh, boy. All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Now, when we come back, we will go into tonight's huge breaking news. John Solomon, who broke it, is here exclusively with Sarah Carter. That's next. Stay with us. Our top story tonight, Fox News alert, the Hill's John Solomon out with a huge development as it relates to the FBI that is now launching a new investigation into the Clinton Foundation and whether the foundation engaged in any pay-to-play or other illegal activities while Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. According to Solomon, FBI agents in Little Rock, Arkansas, where the foundation was started, have taken the lead in this investigation and have already interviewed at least one witness in the last month, and additional activities are expected in coming weeks. A huge development tonight. John Solomon joins us, along with Fox News contributor, investigative reporter Sarah Carter. You know, I've been saying, John, this is going to be the year of the boomerang. This is a massive development. Tell us what you have.
You know, I think it's expected. We had a signal from the Justice Department late last November when they sent a letter to Congress saying we may revisit some of the issues that were closed under the prior Obama administration. And I think tonight we're seeing the first evidence that that's coming true. FBI agents in Little Rock interviewed a witness who had information about pay-to-play allegations against the foundation. And senior law enforcement officials told me, multiple officials told me, there is an ongoing active investigation. And I remember Sarah being on this show months ago predicting that this was still open and something lurking out there that would come back, and I think she turned out to be right.
Sarah, let's go back to what you reported. I know I had my own confirmation November the 3rd. You had it before then that, in fact, the Attorney General did not recuse himself as it relates to the Uranium One scandal.
That's absolutely correct, Sean. And not only with regard to the Uranium One scandal, but all we have to do is look at what happened with the Clinton Foundation. We know that that actual investigation was never thoroughly shut down. It never officially closed. So this is very important. And there are a lot of senior FBI agents, a lot of people, not just in Little Rock, but in New York and in Florida and in other places where they have been investigating the Clinton Foundation, who are breathing a breath of fresh air right now and are really taking heart to what's going on in Little Rock, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information coming out in the next few months.
Is it going to be that long, or has it been? How long do we think this has been going on, John or Sarah, whoever may know?
It's been going on for quite a while. Well, it's been going on for quite a while, for years, actually. I think what happened was that it was stymied. You know, there were so many people insulating the Clintons and insulating under the Obama administration that these agents felt they couldn't move forward. And some of them were actually threatened. So I think
And we now have the witness. We have Victoria Tunsing's client. And
correct.
He was able to infiltrate and discover that Putin's network was involved in all sorts of crimes. Robert Mueller, of all people, knew all about it. CFIUS still went forward 18 months later, knowing bribery, kickbacks, extortion, money laundering had taken place. John, you're also reporting Comey's original Clinton memo released. 9 separate versions?
Well, there were 5 separate instances in the original memo where he used the term gross negligence, which is the felony standard for mishandling it, and all of those were edited out. There was something that goes to the spirited debate you just had with Dr. Gorka and Mr. Rivera. In the original memo, Comey wrote that there was pretty clear and convincing evidence that realistic likelihood that her server really had been penetrated by foreign powers, but that got edited out too. It's amazing what got edited out. If you read the original version and what was eventually released, it seems like 2 different documents.
So you're saying that Comey believed that Clinton's server in the mom and pop bathroom closet had been infiltrated with top secret special access program classified information, and foreign agencies got a hold of it.
He said it was reasonably likely that had happened, and that's something that we didn't hear in the press conference, right? So these edits are more significant. They're more substantive than I think we knew, and I think there's a lot of questions on Capitol Hill tonight about why would Comey allow these edits to happen?
And why did he write the exoneration months before the investigation, which is part of it? Let's go to the Daily Beast. Sarah, I'll ask you that the Department of Justice is also reopened now that we know that the exoneration, which John's reporting about, and the original copies now are out. Now that they are reporting, Department of Justice also is opening that investigation into the server again. And I agree with Dr. Gorka. It's about the rule of law. What do you know?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think that's very important. It is about the rule of law. And I think what we're seeing is numerous investigations. This is what was promised by the Department of Justice. Remember, months ago, everybody was concerned, but they weren't talking about it publicly. And I think now what we're seeing is a trickling out of all of these investigations, Sean, which are going to be ongoing throughout the year. And I want to go back to something that John just said. You know, this is a reason why intent was not important. When you think about Comey and intent and gross negligence and all these words and extremely careless, the fact that foreign agents, foreign states may have more than likely penetrated Hillary Clinton's email server is the reason why gross negligence is the law, because we don't want people getting our classified information, particularly foreign states, and that's why it's so extremely important. But the fact that she wasn't held to the same standards as Christian Saucier and others is something that we have to question, and something that needs to be...
He took the 6 pictures within the submarine, year in jail, away from his wife, kids, all of that happened. That's such a good analogy, isn't it?
Yeah, and lost everything, lost all of his benefits, and he admitted to it. He lost it all.
I hope the president pardons him. I really hope the president pardons, especially if we have. Okay, so if the Justice Department if we now are confirming all of this, John, and it's been going on a long period of time, they're not going to comment publicly on it, are they? So it's
not.
Only because of both of you, and you both really deserve so much credit here, because you really have been out on a limb, and you've been proven right time after time, while the rest of the media has ignored it. But if the Justice Department is doing this, and they had all that foundation, I got to believe it's coming soon, John.
Yeah, I think the thing you have to watch for, if this is going to get really serious, we're going to see a grand jury impaneled, and grand jury subpoenas
Do we know
will
if
come
one
out.
might have been impaneled already?
No evidence of it yet. I think they're really at that first stage of just talking to witnesses. But if we get to a grand jury and panel on either case, email or the foundation, I think you know that there's some serious business ahead.
Last word, Sarah.
I agree with John, and I see that coming in the near future.
Wow. Thank you both for being with us. You guys have been phenomenal. We appreciate it. We'll keep our audience up to date. 2018, the year of the boomerang. Stay with us. The media won't cover it. We will. Tommy Lahren, Jessica Tarlov next. More breaking news tonight. We are following multiple breaking stories, including a bombshell report from The Hill revealing that the FBI is opening a new investigation into the Clinton Foundation, and also breaking. The Daily Beast reporting the Department of Justice has taken a fresh look at Hillary Clinton's private email server scandal. And according to the report, DOJ officials now are interested in finding out how much classified information was in fact sent over Clinton's server, who put that information into an unclassified environment, and how. They also reporting. They want to know which investigators knew about these matters and when did they know it. And in light of today's report, former senior advisor to Clinton, Felipe Reines, wrote on Twitter, quote, "This is definitely a political persecution." Really? Here with reaction, Fox News contributors Tommy Lahren, Jessica Tarlow. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
Okay, now here it is. You have to admit, James Comey, months before even investigating the email server scandal, is writing the exoneration. Now, and he had a special category for Hillary. It wasn't done by the field officers of the FBI. Now that they're opening investigations into both of this, can you just admit you can't write an exoneration before the investigation?
No, I can't admit that. What I can admit that what he did, according to several,
you can have the exoneration and then do the investigation later.
What several officials have said, that it was normal practice to begin drafting what you thought the outcome would be. I completely take your argument, but there are a number of people.
You completely take my argument and then dismiss it.
No, I'm just saying it's not what I think about it. It's not what a number of people who have defended James Comey's decision say about this either.
And then he's doing it with a guy that calls Trump. He's doing it with a guy that calls Trump loathsome.
Yeah,
and loves Hillary.
That guy, but no, that guy was a Kasich supporter in the first place. That's who he wanted.
Excuse me. He's on text with his little girlfriend saying, la, 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 la.
Yeah, but he was also on text with his girlfriend saying, la, 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 I like John Kasich.
All right, la, 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 la. Let's bring in Tommy Lahren. Tommy, your thoughts?
I'm just wondering, Jessica, when will we hear from Hillary in all of this? I mean, she seems to like to talk quite a bit, usually in an anti-Trump fashion, but we've got all this coming out about Hillary. I'd like to see her step up to the plate and own it.
Anything come out about Hillary? These are reopening investigations that have been settled. This is because Jeff Sessions is scared of Donald Trump, because he goes on Twitter and he says, lock her up again. He says, my DOJ is supposed to be doing this. This is pressure,
Jessica,
not because.
Do you think that it's important?
If Jeff Sessions was afraid, he would have resigned.
Do you think that it's important that we investigate this? Does she think this is what I want to know from Democrats? Do you think it's important that we investigate matters of national security? Do you think that that's an important step to be taken?
100%. That's why we did it already. I'm also curious. Then what do you think about Jared Kushner's use of private email? How do you feel about that and other White House officials?
Private email? Are you talking about
a private server in someone's family private server?
Secretary of State,
Stop for a second. We know in the Clinton case that secret, top secret, classified, special access program information, it was all there. And that foreign agents, it was in the Comey draft, had likely gotten it.
Not confirmed.
She put it in a mom and pop shop bathroom closet.
I have heard a lot about the bathroom. The bathroom seems inadvisable. The whole
inadvisable.
That was a little New Year's humor.
A New Year's humor.
You just don't get my jokes this year.
No, apparently not.
No. Anyway, everyone knows the server was a mistake. Hillary Clinton knows the server was a mistake. Bill Clinton knows the server was a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. It was a felony. No. Mishandling of classified information, destroying classified information is a felony. And when you bleach bit it and you acid wash it and you bust up the hammers and you delete it, that's called obstruction.
So Jim Comey just did this because he wanted Hillary Clinton to win.
Jim Comey wanted her to win. Exactly.
And then what about the letter that came out right before the election that we all agreed? I know Judge Pierre was certainly saying
he had no choice. Tommy, at that point, there was no choice.
But to bring up something that was completely irrelevant to the investigation. And you know what the nice part
about it is, Jessica? Despite all of this, despite all the people that wanted to see Hillary win, I'm excited because the American people were too smart for it. So I put that a win in our column. Yes, we're still going to talk about it because it's a matter of national security. I want to see Hillary come out, and I want to see her fess up. I want to see the Democrats come out, and I want to see them fess up.
Every week you tell me you're done seeing her. She's spoken about this. It was a mistake. She has been exonerated. I would love to know what you think about Jared Kushner and White House officials using private email.
Don't fall into her diversion, Tommy. I have another question.
Fall right in. It's not even a diversion. It's completely legitimate.
All right,
Don't use private email.
That was very good. Here's what I want to know. America doesn't have enough uranium. Uranium is the foundational material for nuclear weapons. Now, why would Hillary, Eric Holder, knowing Robert Mueller knew that Putin wanted to get a foothold in the uranium industry in America? Why? And he had his thugs in this country bribing, extorting, money laundering, racketeering, the whole bit, and kickbacks. Why would anybody ever sign off on giving a foreign entity control of uranium when we don't have enough uranium? on the surface, does that make any sense to you at all?
It doesn't, but what I understand from this...
slow down. It doesn't.
It doesn't if that's what happened, but we didn't transfer uranium out of the country. And Hillary Clinton did not sign off on it.
It went to Europe, and we believe it went to Asia.
We believe it went
We know it went to Canada.
So if it went to allies, because I believe Europe and Canada are our allies, that's one thing. If you're saying it went into Putin's pocket, that's a different thing.
But we have a shortage, Tommy, of uranium. We need more of it, not less of it.
This is because we're resource scarce. Hillary Clinton didn't even sign off on that.
Actually, on uranium, we are. She did sign off on it. That's a lie.
The State Department.
We know what Hillary did as Secretary of State, Jessica. We know it. There's so many smoking elements here, and the Democrats continue to play it off. Well, we don't know. We don't know. You guys know nothing about this whole apparent Russia collusion either, but you still bring it up every sentence. We know that Hillary deleted 33,000 emails. We know about Uranium One, but yet you're still going to go back and talk about Jared Kushner, which is a whole lot of nothing burger because you can't fess up.
Why do you get to decide that, but this isn't? We haven't had a thorough investigation, and that you probably want a second special counsel to look into the
deleted
Mueller
emails.
probe.
That sure doesn't sound innocent to me.
Well, I'm sorry,
Whoopsies, deleted 33,000 incriminating emails. Whoopsie.
The incriminating emails?
Why would someone, as Sean mentioned, why would someone delete 33,000 emails and bleach bit a server, a private server that they had in a basement?
Subpoenaed.
Why would they do that if there was nothing suspect?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she says they were her private emails, and I know there was probably more in there beyond yoga.
About yoga, a funeral, and a wedding, 33,000? Really? You buy that? And she emailed Bill,
a lot of emails
and she said she also emailed Bill, but Bill doesn't have an account.
No, well, Bill Clinton doesn't personally email, but his staff does email.
Oh, she said Bill.
Well, I think she's referring to his staff. She must know that her own husband doesn't send emails.
So, she was asked, did you wipe the server clean, like with a cloth?
Yeah, it's not a...
Made me laugh. I'll tell you why. Straight ahead.